All right. Does this work? Am I super backlit? I think I'm okay. I'm shooting an evening vlog because this was all I had time for. And if you can kind of see behind me, I thought I would shoot this video with a view of the Lower East Side and or Chinatown and or East Village, because honestly, kind of like how I did in my last video where I talked about Tribeca and the art galleries in Tribeca, honestly, the lines between Tribeca into Soho start to blur a little. So I'm just gonna talk about some of my favorite galleries from starting in that like Chinatown area into the Lower East Side, into the East Village. If anyone can explain to me what the rules are of where the Lower East Side stops and where the East Village begins, I would greatly appreciate that, because I'm not aware of those of those rules, and I think it would be interesting. So anyway, similar to my Tribeca video, which if you haven't watched, check it out. I will link it down in the description box below as well as above. I thought I would talk about some of my favorite East Village, Lower East Side, Chinatown art galleries, and what the overall vibe sort of the area is like, and yeah, just everything you would need to know. I've also included the actual list. There's a Google map list, so you can just pull it up on your phone. If you're in New York, go check them all out. There's pictures of all of the spaces, and I try to keep this as up to date as possible. As you saw in my last video, a lot of galleries are moving from Lower East Side and Chelsea to Tribeca, but there's still so many galleries in the Lower East Side, so figured it would be a nice time to cover some of those. And if I've left any out or I'm missing some, please let me know. So one gallery, I think I kind of want to start, I'm going to start with the map and like how the map looks. And this is a newer gallery that I actually had to add to my list because it was not on my list. I think they opened last September. ATM Gallery is right next to 56 Henry Gallery, which is a great gallery. They had an amazing show by Nick Doyle a couple years ago, so you can definitely discover some cool emerging artists. And they are kind of following the journal galleries model where they have really short shows. They have like a new show every month. The show is like 3 to 4 weeks, and yeah, a little higher turnover as far as exhibitions. They get a lot of new emerging artists. Jessie Dallas was a show that I covered on my Instagram, and super popular. Everyone really loved her works. So yeah, they seem to have a great program. And something I also want to call out that's been like kind of new with the pandemic is that, and this is true of Tribeca as well, a lot of galleries in the Lower East Side have sort of banded together. I think it's the first Thursday of every month. One second. The third Thursday of every month, galleries are staying open late in the Lower East Side. Yeah, they're just all coming together, which is great because so many galleries close at like 6 o'clock. And so it's a little hard. You sometimes only can see shows on the weekends, but if you wanted to go see a gallery after work, maybe get a drink with your friends, I think they're staying open till around 8 every third Thursday of the month. So ATM participates in that. I think every gallery I'm basically going to mention today participates in that. But yeah, ATM Gallery is a new gallery that I think is great. 56 Henry, like I mentioned. Another gallery in that sort of vicinity is Shrine Gallery, which shares a space with Sargeant's daughters. They have a really incredible program. Shrine features a lot of artists that suffer from disabilities, and they work with programs in San Francisco to really highlight these artists and these nonprofits that provide studio spaces for these artists. And so they show incredible works, but in addition to that, they're also highlighting some really great causes. And so yeah, Shrine is a great gallery. Sargeant's Daughter is a great gallery. Ashes is kind of like a little hole in the wall. It's like a one room, can't really tell at first that it's a gallery. I think that really speaks to like the overall vibe. Okay, so yeah, so let me back it up a little bit. Let me start with the sort of like Chinatown galleries. I don't know why they are in Chinatown. I don't know why I'm doing that. And I'm talking about Downs and Ross, I'm talking about Foxy Production, even Lyles and King Gallery. A lot of the galleries, Lubov Gallery is one of those, can be very, very hard to find, but honestly so worth it. Lyles and King is not included that. They're on the ground floor. They're super easy to find over on Catherine Street. I didn't go to Downs and Ross for the longest time because I would get so frustrated walking by that I like could not find the gallery. It's on the second floor of what it looks like, I don't know how to describe it, but it looks like you're walking into a restaurant, but it's actually an elevator lobby. So that's what was always so confusing to me. And I will say, full disclaimer, a lot of the East Village galleries and Lower East Side, especially Chinatown galleries, are like that. Foxy Production is like that. It's also on the second floor. You have to kind of like walk into what looks like almost like a residential sort of apartment building. Lubov Gallery, I think, is on like the 5th floor. You really think you're walking into someone's apartment, but at the end of the day, you're left with this really amazing gallery space. And so that's why I've tried to provide photos from what the outside looks like, because you can just walk right by. Like Downs and Ross, I would just like pace back and forth on the street and I still would be like, oh my gosh, where is this gallery? So full disclaimer, Chinatown galleries, some of them are very hard to find. Marinaro Gallery, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, is another great one. That's actually right on the corner, I think, of Oliver Street, and I think it's 1 Oliver Street. Super cute little corner. So like usually when I hit up Chinatown, I go to like Marinaro because they have a basement area, which is great too. Foxy Production, which is like basically right across the street. Downs and Ross is a little bit further down. Lyles and King is right there, and then I kind of walk over to Shrine, not Foxy Production, Shrine Gallery, Sargeant's Daughters, 56 Henry, ATM. There's also Jack Barrett Gallery. That's another one that was like, could walk right by. In my defense, there was a homeless encampment right in front of it, so it really was blocked. I couldn't totally see the entrance of the gallery, but honestly, I find some of the most incredible emerging artists, so I really love Chinatown galleries for this. If you can just, don't worry about being embarrassed, don't worry about trying to find him. I guarantee, just look at my guide and hopefully that helps. And yeah, at the end of the day, hopefully, or if you take your friends along, they'll think you're really cool because you know all these like secret places. Like it honestly feels like a secret kind of scavenger hunt or something. So that's Chinatown, Chinatown area. And then we start moving up. I'm actually gonna look at the map here so I can do this correctly. I'm gonna pull the map up on my phone. Okay, so then we start moving up into what I would still consider definitely the Lower East Side. And you have some of my absolute favorites in a very, very short amount of space. And so you have James Cohan Gallery's original East Village location still there. They have their new location, of course, which I mentioned in my last video on Walker Street. But a little squirmy, a little squirmy. But they have their new location. What was I saying? It's been a long day. But yeah, they've got their original Grand Street location in the East Village, and then right above it, actually, well, not right above it, but like a couple floors up, I think it's on the 4th floor, is Nathalie Karg Gallery. One of my absolute favorites to hit up. Love, talk about it, like it is worth it to climb the stairs, because once you get there, it's this beautiful, I'll put it in a picture, light-filled room with like wooden beams, and like I just love the like charm of the interiors. And yeah, it's just a great gallery, great program, a lot of incredible female artists, Jessie Mockrin, Heidi Han, like, oh my gosh, so many wonderful artists that they represent. And so, yeah, that's a big one. Let me think. Marc Straus Gallery is right next to it. So you can literally hit up 3 galleries within a tiny amount of space, which is wonderful. And then down the street, you have what used to be another little, what's the word? Gathering of galleries. You used to have Canada Gallery before it moved to Tribeca. It was right next to Buchanan Gallery, and then also Jack Hanley Gallery. So Nickel and then also Canada all moved to Tribeca, but we still have Jack Hanley Gallery, and honestly on Broome Street, right across from the very famous Bang Bang Tattoo Shop. Oh my gosh, love a Jack Hanley show, so that's one of my favorites. Up the street from that is Magenta Plains Gallery, so I would highly recommend walking up to that. That's another one, kind of doesn't look like a gallery as much from the outside, even though it is on the ground floor. It almost looks like this little standalone weird house, kind of, I don't know. But it's super cool. And then I want to make sure I'm not missing any. Right, then when you walk up, and I believe it's Houston that you cross, you get over, well actually, let's back it up. So right before you cross Houston, there's a little great grouping of Rachel Uffner Gallery, and what else used to be over there? Rachel Uffner Gallery. Oh my gosh, is everything across Houston now? So you guys, so many galleries have moved. Yeah, wow. Company Gallery, I know they have a location that's right to the left of Rachel Uffner on Houston, East Houston Street, but I know they used to have Baby Company, which is at another location, but I'll write this all down for you guys, don't worry. Salon 94 used to be on Bowery in a very similar area. They ended up actually moving to the Upper East Side. So yeah, I'm glad we're talking about this. I feel like there's been a lot of changes since quarantine, so this is really gonna push me to update my list so that you guys have the most, not that I'll call, like honestly, all of these have been really great changes. There haven't been too many heartbreaking gallery closures, knock on wood. I feel like these have all been really positive moves. Salon 94 has this incredible, they sort of consolidated all their gallery spaces and they're now on the Upper East Side. And like I mentioned a bajillion times, a lot of these guys have moved over to Tribeca. So I don't think it's for the worst by any means. Oh, the Hole, of course, the Hole is on Bowery. How could I forget? So yeah, the Hole used to be right up from Salon 94. So I'd usually go hit up the two at the same time, but Hole's still on Bowery, still amazing, but now they have a second location in, you guessed it, Tribeca. So yeah, so there's the Hole. There is, right a bit around the Hole is Eva Presenhuber, and honestly, I would definitely call the Hole and Eva Presenhuber East Village. Like those are the ones I really feel like are in the East Village proper. I don't know if is it Houston, like under Houston, that's Lower East Side, and above is East Village. Did I just figure it out, the equation? I don't know. But I love, obviously the Hole and then Eva Presenhuber, so I usually go see those two shows together and then sort of walk over from there. Once you get above Houston, I believe you have, yeah, Perrotin, Karma. Oh, no. I lied. Oh my lord, this is a disaster. Okay, so under Houston, you still have Perrotin, Rachel Uffner, and then you go above Houston and you have another grouping of galleries. You have Karma, both Karma locations. You have Half Gallery on East 4th Street. I believe Karma's on East 2nd Street. And then, am I missing anyone above? I think those are the farthest north. Yeah, so basically we go from the lowest point in Chinatown, which is Lyles and King, which is around 2 bridges, all the way up to East 4th Street. And that's kind of the overview, I guess, of all of the galleries, if you will. The overall vibe of East Village is super casual. Like I definitely dress more, funky, I don't, casual, funky. I don't feel like I mean, let's be honest, you can wear whatever you want to galleries. I just love dressing up for the theme and for the vibe. So I definitely feel more comfortable in my more like everyday wear, like leather jackets, tennis shoes, up in Lower East Side and East Village. I would feel kind of silly rolling into one of those galleries in like heels and like all done up, versus like Chelsea, I've worn like heels and a dress and I feel totally normal walking around Chelsea, a little more done up. So I would definitely say the vibe is exactly what you think it is, like leather jacket, drink a beer. I mean, the Hole has like, well, used to when we were allowed to have openings, you know, whiskey drink at the openings, PBRs, like it's that kind of vibe. And so I'd say the fanciest would be Perrotin, Galerie Perrotin, because obviously it's more of like a mega gallery, but even that gallery, even though it's beautiful and it's huge, it's 3 floors, still feels super casual going in there, and yeah, it's a great time. When I'm over in the East Village, I love going to Empanada Mama. I will usually stop for lunch or dinner. I love La Contenta, especially now with COVID. I love La Contenta because now they have like more outdoor seating. It used to be, it could sit like 8 people inside. It's a very small restaurant. They have a larger one in West Village, but the original one is in East Village. And so love getting a margarita there, Waka Express. And so, oh my God, there's so many good restaurants. There's Barrio Chino, there's Casa Mezcal. There's so many good restaurants in Lower East Side. So yeah, I would highly recommend just like go see some shows, like hang out with friends, have a cocktail. Like it's definitely that kind of a daytime or like day into night vibe. So yeah, check out my list below. Hopefully that helps. I will try to keep it up to date as possible. But yeah, that's the Lower East Side. Let me know if you want me to do other neighborhoods. I'll probably continue on to Upper East Side at some point, Chelsea. I don't go to Brooklyn galleries that much, but you know, maybe that could be a fun adventure that we could go on. But yeah, I like giving you guys these overviews, especially for those that aren't super familiar or are going to visit New York and they kind of just want a resource. Hopefully this can be helpful for you all. But until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.